And welcome to the show, Unpacking Some Shit with Wise and McKinsey. My name's Tom Wise.
I'm Melinda McKinsey.
It's a gorgeous, glorious day in Tarpon Springs near Tampa. Probably below 70 degrees, sunnier than shit. I
Sunnier
love it.
than shit is a really good forecast. I like that. It's 43 here in New York. It is sunny, which I'm very grateful for because it's been rainy for days and days. So I've got a big sweater. I'm actually wearing pajamas, and then I put my sweater on over it.
I've got my black tee out, the long sleeve t-shirt.
Well,
I'm so excited.
yeah, good for you. That is very exciting. So, what are we about? Should we tell people why we're doing this?
Couple of chit chatters. We've known each other for 12, 15 years.
Yeah.
Did a radio show together. We call it a radio show. I bought time at a local radio station in order for us to go up. We went up every Wednesday for an hour.
Yeah.
We did that for about 3 or 4 months. It was great with my brother Patrick.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun, and we really liked it. And then we were going to continue on, and then I moved away. And Tom and I do work in television. I know he says I say that too much, but it's a very interesting career that most people that are not in it they're fascinated by it, right? It seems fancy, and we're here to tell you that it's not that fancy.
Yeah, it's fun. You know what? It's like when I was hosting it on Home Shopping. Yeah, it was fun because back then it was only 17 channels, and I was on one of them for 3 hours a day. It was crazy. But it's your job. I mean, that's what we were doing. Your job. It was a fun job. It was a great job. But but it's not boring. But it's a job, and it was fun to do.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then the pandemic happened, and then Tom and I were like, "Huh, you know what? We have some things we can verbalize about, not about the pandemic, but we talk about life, relationships, sex, all the things we think people don't want to talk about. We talk about it.
Yeah, we try to bring 2, 3, 4 topics a day to our little Gap Fest, and we may hit on 2 or 3. And we try to run this thing about 30 minutes. It usually goes about 45.
We try.
I don't think we've ever been under 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, we haven't. So I'm excited to hear, what are your exciting Monday topics?
All right. Sex dreams.
Yeah.
Test joke. 3 canceled dates. Validation / Trump.
Okay.
And old movies.
Wow. Okay. Some of mine actually tie in with yours. I was very excited to talk to you today. Yes. So I've been kind of digging into the psychology of things lately. So that's been on my mind about why we do things the way we do. And of course, the dating thing it eludes me. I don't understand it. So I started researching dating terms. There's all kinds of, have you heard of what being Kanye'd? What's it mean if you go on a date and you get Kanye'd? You know?
I do not know.
And some of these terms are going to relate to what you're saying about 3 canceled date. Being Kanye'd means you're on a date with someone who.
Are you starting a topic?
What?
It sounds like you're starting a topic.
It's a little treat.
Please, without rules, it's chaos.
It's total chaos that I just took over and started, because I wanted to know if you'd heard of this. I wrote down like 10 different dating terms that are very 2020. I'll be dying to know if I really didn't know any of them.
I know ghosting. That's it.
Oh, ghosting is from the past. There's another term, advanced from ghosting. It's called, I think it's called, well, I don't want to say what it's called. There's another term. Ghosting is, who cares? There's different stuff now. So yeah. So you want to guess what being Kanye is, though?
Well, he's nuts.
Right.
You meet up with somebody and you go, oh my gosh, this person's absolutely batshit crazy.
Well, what it specifically means is that you're on a date with someone who relentlessly only talks about themselves.
Oh, wow.
That's Kanye. Have you been Kanye?
Generally not. I mean, I remember one date in particular, just one date in particular. She's a beautiful woman. And we met, and she talked for an hour and a half straight about her hometown and her neighbors and her uncles, people I would never meet, probably. Just it was a run-on sentence.
Wow.
It wasn't until we got to the car I said that I did 3% of the talking, mostly saying, I've got to go to the bathroom now. And
was she nervous?
Would you like another drink? I don't know. There was just no chemistry.
Yeah.
She was so pretty, I was trying to force the issue, but just no chemistry. So we went out twice, and that was that.
Yeah.
I asked her at the end before I said goodbye at her car. I said, "So, how about what's your favorite movie? Can we go back about 2 hours and start something simple
Ooh.
rather than tell me everything about every neighbor and every cousin, every crazy uncle you ever know?"
So while she was talking, were you just like nodding and what?
I try to be, I try to put my first of all, I try to pretend I'm a saint on this podcast.
Yeah, you do try to pretend. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Well, I'm trying to. I always, hey, you just, there's a number and a time for everything. I mean, how much will you last before you just got to go? It's like it was insane. I literally the only things I said was, "Do you want another drink, or I've got to go to the bathroom?" Literally.
Wow. Well, I can't wait to talk about these failed dates because I just looked at it. The thing that's similar to ghosting, but at a much bigger level, is called dial toning. Have you heard of that?
What?
Dial toning. I
Wow,
know
sounds rude.
it is rude.
Hang on, I got one more thing to tell you.
Yes, I know. It is rude. It's different than that, though. But it's a level above ghosting, though. That's how they described it, a level above ghosting.
Wow.
Right. So, yeah, I want to talk about like psychology stuff. I want to hear about the 3 canceled dates. That has definitely got my attention.
So I had a date for last Monday.
Yes.
She canceled, said she had to work, which then it was pushed to a Saturday. So I said, well, the Monday night date, I was very skeptical that it was going to happen anyway. All right.
Okay.
And then it got canceled. And I told Patrick, that's pretty much, I expect this to get canceled. And then rescheduled for Saturday. I go, wow, that's prime time. I said, did you know Saturday is Halloween? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm familiar. I'm on board. All
Uh,
right. And then right around 11:30 in the morning, we're still on for tonight, right? 20 minutes later, oh, I'm working. I'm working.
that's so rude. She just found out she was working.
It was like, well, and then I just say, hey, have a great time, but I didn't say, let's do it again or anything like
No, you
that.
can't. There's no follow up with that.
Nope.
No, that's rude. And if clearly she didn't follow up either, did she? Did she follow up after that and say, hey, let's fix this?
Oh, no, just happy Halloween and a pumpkin.
Yeah. Goodbye.
It's all right. You know what? It's interesting. I think some women are afraid a little bit.
Oh, yeah, we're afraid.
I went out. I mean, this one woman, I mean, we chatted. This is years ago, chatted and chatted and chatted. I'm like, I'm always very friendly,
Yeah.
And we had mutual friends. And I said, hey, I'm going to be down in St. Pete. Maybe I'll pop over for coffee or something. Oh,
Yeah.
she ended up coming to a comedy show of mine.
Okay.
I mean, years ago. I
Yeah.
left 2 tickets for her and her 90-year-old escort,
Okay.
to
What's
come.
that mean? Describe what do you
Like
mean?
she had a friend. She couldn't travel by herself. She brought a friend. So the 90-year-old neighbor came along,
Interesting.
which I was fine. Whatever. Be comfortable is mine because we had never met up to this point,
Right.
and we only were on Facebook and whatever. So she came, saw the show, left without saying hello.
No. That is just
Is that a
complete.
new term? Is that a new term for that?
I'll have to look that one up. I'm going to look that one up. It's similar to glamboozled. Glamboozled is a thing. It's very similar to that, Tom.
I'm lucky that I'm just not living under a rock, just like, shaking my head, afraid to come out.
This is
It's
why
been a
I don't.
wild ride.
Well, yeah, it's difficult to date, and it's all those dynamics because obviously you don't know the other person, so you don't know. Like, are people saying yes when they're really not invested? Then is that what's going on here?
I don't know. I think both those women were. I hate to tag somebody with the word afraid because I think that's what they are. They don't. It's like I'm comfortable with my world now. But I think I should be dating, and I'll try. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's always,
Please, we just go out once. I reject you, then it's over. Let's just pull that Band-Aid off.
at least do that.
Come on.
I think people are so afraid of rejection, they're not willing to take the chance. I've recognized that. And I will say, when I was first divorced 10 years ago, I dated a lot because I just found it thrilling. It was so different. I was learning what was going on in the world. As I've gotten older, I date less and less because of the things you're describing. It's a lot of effort to just, ugh. And then we worry, you guys don't worry about it maybe, but we worry about sexual assault a lot. So
There's a God we pray to.
and so it's different,
Yeah,
right?
I'm
Different.
in heaven. Please, hope I get assaulted today.
I know. But let me ask you this, because that's a
Yes, you with the red hair.
you like the red hair. Here's the thing. So if you, let's say you hit it off and you have sex on the first date with someone, in your man brain, are you going to tell yourself that, oh, this probably won't be a relationship? Because, as a female, we pretty much know if we have sex on the first date, it's probably not going to be a relationship. And we assume you think the same thing. Or do you hope, wow, this chick loves sex so much, we're going to have sex all the time. So I definitely want to have a relationship. Like, how does that work?
I think I've only had sex on the first date once, and we both knew it was not going to last.
Okay.
I
I'm
mean,
trying to think
I was out of town.
I've had one night stands, but it wasn't a date. Like it was pretty obvious what it was
Yeah,
about.
absolutely. That's pretty much it.
So,
But
okay. So then
I don't even go to a date looking to close business. I'm just like kicking the tires.
wouldn't that be nice if everybody felt that way? I feel I will say from my personal experience, you do get a certain amount of pressure for like a kiss even. And it feels very, from my point of view, don't kiss me the first time you meet me. Can I just get to know you? And it doesn't mean I'm sexually repressed. It means I just, want to get to know you. And I find guys get very, at least the men that I've clearly picked wrongly, come from the point of view of like, oh, you can't, oh, you're out on a date, you can't even kiss. Like, well, shit, man. I feel like I don't want to fight with you the first date, and I don't want you to make me feel
But
uncomfortable.
don't you? Do you expect a little bit of sexual attention at some point? Don't you expect a little bit for a guy to make a move to indicate he's interested?
From my brain space, I would expect an ask.
Oh, I sometimes I sometimes think that because I don't make a move, they're a little confused. Like,
Really?
I think.
I mean, I think after the third date, if you don't touch me or make a move, then I'm going to feel like, are we best friends
Right,
or
right,
something?
right, right. Yeah, 2, 3. Yeah, absolutely. If you're not, something not happening, you're not holding hands or snuggling or something by the end of the second date. What's the point? What are we doing here?
Right. But also, I guess I've jumped the gun because I'm assuming if I'm dating, I will eventually have sex with this person, right? That's the point.
Correct.
Okay, that's my point, is that I'm not looking for a pen pal. I want to have a sexual relationship, but I just don't like that first date when I'm trying to take in
Yeah,
everything.
let's go slow. Let's go easy, slow.
I don't know. So you had 3 canceled dates like over the weekend?
And then the second one was COVID related.
What do you,
I think I've been exposed. Not
are you
me.
serious?
She
Oh.
said she was exposed.
Oh, is that a new dating excuse? I think I've been exposed.
Mhm.
Ooh.
And then the third one, these were during the weekdays. The third one was, hey, are we still on today? Uh, uh, Charles, I don't think I'll be able to come out today,
She called you Charles?
or whatever. It was another name that wasn't mine.
That's just so rude. How did
Like I
you respond?
said, under the rock. I should be living under a rock.
No, you know what? Because here's the thing, Tom. It only takes one. You unfortunately have to get through some of the murk to get to the one. But when this woman called you the wrong name, how
No,
did you
she called me
respond?
Preston. That was it, Preston.
No, no, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, that stings. But here's the thing. It
Whatever.
has nothing to do with you. It has
It has
everything to
nothing
do
to
with
do with me. The 4 agreements. That's my Bible. The 4 agreements.
you're right. I still have the book here. You know what? I need to keep this out in my face so I can remind myself, especially with everything that's going on tomorrow, the 4 agreements. Do you remember what they are? I had to look them up last time. What are they?
Keep your head down, keep your elbows straight, follow through, and shift your weight. I think that's it.
Where does it just break it down? Oh, I'm finding all kinds of things I stick things in my books. Do you do that? You put, and then you're like, oh, this is a little treat.
It's $100 bill.
It's a little treat. I found a sticker from when I was background on Billions.
Wow.
I was background on the engagement scene. I got to sit at the bar, and when they propose, I get to stand up and go, oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you. That's hilarious. And then look, a postcard from a comedian that a comedian gave me. I think he's a comedian. He might be a singer. I stick
Or
things in my book.
homeless.
Oh my gosh. But the 4 agreements are important. You know, I think I need to put them on my wall. Okay. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word. Very
Check.
important. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. Difficult, but attainable. The third agreement, don't make any assumptions. Ooh, that's a good one in dating. That's why you're so calm and peaceful.
Number 2, number 3 are come into play plenty.
And then the fourth, I love, always do your best.
Do your best.
If we all abided by the 4 agreements.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why somebody says maybe you were exposed. Maybe you were being thoughtful, then you don't want to expose me.
Well, I have a tendency to lean towards the drama. And I had to tell someone, because I was talking to someone on the phone the other day and I was like popping off and they're like, well, and I said, no, I'm being dramatic. I'm not serious. Like, I just went to the extreme to show you like how crazy this scenario was where, you know, listen, we're all hopefully doing the best we can, right?
Right.
We're doing the best we can.
Right.
And clearly, if this lady calls you Preston, she saved you a future date of wasting your time.
Here she is. She's on a dating site. So I'm not the only guy she's probably conversing with.
Yes.
I got 19 guys. She's an attractive woman, lives downtown St. Pete. So she's probably, mixing it up plenty. So she's made a mistake. I mean,
you're very calm and patient.
You tried harder, but
no, listen, I need to choose differently because I pick fiery guys that are just very knee jerk and then I'm very defensive. I don't know that I've ever gone out with somebody as calm as you. I need to really practice
good
that.
And bad.
I choose. I've historically.
I'm saving my passion for the 5th date.
But why get mad about something that has nothing to do with you? You're so right to waste your energy on all this.
By the way, at the end of the day, she's texting me that she wants to go out with me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before about people reaching out like later, like a year later or something, right? Doing that. I had a guy that I went on a date with, so handsome. What a disappointment. So handsome, like model handsome. And so I'm very nervous because I'm like, there's no way this guy's not getting a lot of action, right? Like, he's a fucking model. He was the most boring human being. He had nothing to contribute. And I felt very sorry for him. So during the dinner, I thought, well, okay, we tried. After dinner, he says, this is going really well. Do you want to go grab a cocktail across the street?
Really?
I felt so terribly for him. I said, yes. Because how is he not reading the sign? It was a terrible date. We went on the date. He texted me later how great it was. I was like, well, I don't think we clicked. A year later, he requested me on LinkedIn to try to have a conversation with me on LinkedIn. I was like, we're not going to be the LinkedIn friends now.
Isn't it delightful though when you own the idea that you can walk away from beauty if there's no connection, no chemistry?
Man, I've dated unattractive dudes because they've got great
I mean, that's real power, I think.
Who is it though? My God, he was gorgeous. So gorgeous to look at. So gorgeous.
Wouldn't you want to parade him around a little bit?
No, because it's terrible.
Take him to a party.
Energy out of me to be around somebody that had nothing to offer. You know what I mean?
But sometimes you just want to, take it a little. Hey, it's a nice Maserati. Let me drive this. Let me drive your car over to where my buddies are hanging out so they can all see, and then I'll just drive it back.
It seems mean. I don't think I could do it.
Well,
it seems mean.
Yeah,
but
maybe. You don't want
so
to.
Can I ask you, when you're dating a girl, let's say you're newly dating and you ask for a picture, has a woman ever sent you a picture and then you've said, did you just take this? I want this just for me. Or, you know what I mean? Like alluding to the fact that I want this picture that no one else has seen, not a dirty picture, but like just send it to me only.
I've never asked for an exclusive picture.
See, God, you're different than every guy. Every guy I've ever dated at some point or another says, oh, send me a picture. And I'll send it and they'll go, no, that's something you've already showed on social media. I just want a picture that's just for me. And I'm like, how fucked up is that?
Well, sometimes you'll ask for a fresh picture just to see if she's not 800 pounds heavier than the picture she's posting in the on the dating site.
This is while I'm dating them. They've already met me.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's.
Seems weird, right? I
Mm.
think it's weird. Like it just
Well,
what?
why didn't you take him a fresh picture if you're dating him? How lazy is that? You just send him some old shitty picture you get.
No, I've sent fresh pictures. And then the question was, have you sent that to anybody else? Did you just take this?
What an odd question.
What a paranoid. That's
Yeah.
what I thought too.
Refer
Like
him to the 4 agreements.
I need to just, you know what? I need to make, and that's also another dating term when you start using oh, I have to look it up. When you start using like Myers-Briggs and things, if you only date people based on your Myers-Briggs or your astrology sign, there's a name for that too.
Oh, that's me. Go on.
That's hilarious. Okay, so did we hear all three of those canceled dates?
Yeah.
We did? The first one was the lady that said,
She moved it to Saturday, then canceled Saturday.
oh yeah, and
Then
then
COVID, and
COVID,
then Preston. Is that you?
Preston, and
Preston, I can't wait to see you again.
I'm sorry, man, but it saved you a lot of time of useless
I'm fine with all of it.
All right. All right. Well, do you know if you're on a date and someone says that they've been yellow carded? Do you know what that means?
Well, in soccer, yellow card, you're on a caution. I'm
Yes.
sure that's the reference. I don't know how it would be in a date. Maybe you've made a. If so, does the woman get a yellow card or does the man?
Either one.
Really? I would
Yes.
say a man was too aggressive, and he was told to be, "Hey, calm down." I can't imagine a woman being too aggressive, though.
That's very close. Yellow carding is when you call out either date on bad behavior to their face. And they said
Oh,
27% of people surveyed for this survey were brave enough to do that on the first date.
like if your date is rude to a waiter or wait staff, it's like that's not nice.
And you said you've had that, but you didn't call it out, right?
I didn't call it out. I let people just bury themselves under their own bad
I don't
behavior.
know that I could yellow card someone. It's so uncomfortable if you're just learning to meet them, unless it was really terrible, right? If it was really brutal, then I guess I would have to. But it just seems like a big step to take on the first date because that would just be enough of a sign to go, well, I'm not going to date this person. I'm not going to change their behavior, right?
Yeah. Why bother?
Yeah.
Because my theory is the things you like about a person. And this is kind of a sad theory. The things that
Okay.
you like about somebody, they'll do less as you get into the relationship, and the things you don't like, they're gonna do more.
Is that a real thing? That's depressing.
Yeah, I mean, oh, I get a morning text every day from blah blah blah. I get 7 texts. Now it's going to whittle down to 2, and then maybe down to 1 a month. And then this person is a little bit, aggressive or a little bit rude, and it's going to get worse. So if you don't like their bad stuff, because it's going to get worse, and know that the good stuff is probably going to be diminished.
Okay, so here's a joke.
But hope, yeah,
Why did the bride smile as she was walking down the aisle?
no more blowjobs.
Yes, no more blowjobs.
I've told you that story, didn't I?
No.
My buddy Mike, God bless him, he's dead 5 years now.
Yeah, I remember.
And he got married, right? He met this woman online,
Yes.
and they're dating 4 weeks, 5 weeks. It's fresh. And
Yes.
he and I are talking about it. He goes, "Oh my gosh, every morning's a blowjob, every night's a blowjob." And we're planning to get married.
If
I
you
go,
get
"Well."
morning blowjobs, you know she's after something. Come on, let's be honest.
So I
Morning
tell him,
blowjob.
I said, "You know what? That might dial back a little bit after the wedding. It may not be as intense. You might not
Did
be on
you
that
really think
schedule
that was
anymore."
going to be a normal part of his relationship? Morning blowjobs?
And then he reports to her how skeptical I was that things were going to change.
I'm sure
So,
she's laughing.
so they both had a good laugh at my expense.
Yes.
They get married. I mean, literally, I'm the only person there. These two lonely souls met each other
How long had they dated before they got married?
a couple of months.
Oh,
They go to the JP. He calls me up. What are you doing? I go, I'm not, just a little bit. He goes, I'm getting married. You want to come over and witness this? And I did. And the poor thing, she had a sore throat at the wedding. Had a hard time getting up with the vows, right?
She had no friends. No friends there.
No friends. A woman with no friends. I don't know what's scarier, a woman with no friends or a man with no friends.
All scary. All of it is scary.
Long story short, they got divorced 6 months later. Not one BJ since the wedding.
She
Not a
had that
one.
sore throat, Tom. She had that sore throat.
Not a one.
You know, blowjobs are such a cultural thing that men have really done a
Ruined.
good job of leading women to believe how necessary they are.
I've got to have a prescription. Your name's on it.
But on the other side of that, here's what I will say: knowing men and women, the way that I do in my life experience, if a man is very attentive to a woman and there's a genuine relationship there, women will happily do the blowjob. Happily, it's when you piss us off, or
Yeah.
it's when you know what I mean. If you put us in a bad frame of mind, forget the blowjob, and then you hear the complaints like, "Oh, she won't even blow me. We're fighting." Well, fix it, motherfucker. If you want a blowjob, fix it. It can be fixed. Women are actually quite what's the word I'm looking for when you do something that's not even necessary? What's that word? We're accommodating. We're so accommodating. We're very accommodating.
Okay, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that baseline assessment, but there you do have a variance
Yeah.
of women that are interested and not interested.
Yes.
And will accommodate and I enjoy this. So
Yes.
yeah, but if the guy's not getting it, usually it's a good reflection of how the relationship's going.
Right. And then what about women? Have you ever dated a woman that's like, no, you go down on me first or you can forget about it?
I've never had that blunt discussion.
But I mean, you could physically handle it if you're in the middle of something. You can very physically guide
Absolutely.
someone.
I'm an equal opportunity, you know.
A lot of men
BJ.
are not. A lot of men are not.
There you
It's really unfortunate. I really feel like we should teach. If I could just teach these men how really wonderful their sex life could be if they were more giving and more patient and letting the woman have an orgasm first before the man, it would change the dynamic of a relationship so deeply.
I don't disagree, but you know what? Once the relationship is going south, it's interesting. I think that's um, too often. It's an interesting thing to unpack. Too
Yeah.
often, when the relationship is bad, the sex dries up.
Yes.
And I do note that your famous psychologists like Dr. Ruth and what have you, the old sex psychologists,
Yes.
talk about the fact that you should try to have sex even if you're in a bad mood or you're mad at your partner.
Yes.
As difficult as that might be, at least a half a dozen times it should be attempted, because I think sometimes the bond that's generated through the sex act might make the argument less.
It could.
People might come to say, you know what, let's forget about that stupid thing we're arguing about.
Yeah. It's tough. As a female, I will say it's really, really tough to have sex with someone when you're angry with them.
I know. I mean, I was in a relationship one time and I said to the person, we were a long-term relationship ish. And I said, hey, I got an idea. How about every Wednesday you come home, we'll just circle that on the calendar. You jump in bed and I'll take care of you.
Okay. Yeah.
Never happened. Never interested.
Well, I mean, that sounds like a nice gift.
Yep. But see, the relationship was going south.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a sign, right? If you're offering a gift and it's not taken, that is a sign that the relationship is maybe not at its peak anymore. And at what point can you tell? Because, like, I will say for me, in the dating relationships I've had since my divorce, what I've recognized when the relationship's not going well is they seem to pick fights. Like, all of a sudden they're fighting and mad
Yeah,
about
I
something.
know. It's your dynamic to end a relationship.
Yeah.
You
Is
know,
that a guy thing to do
I
though?
don't
Why don't
know.
you just say like what, what's going on as opposed to picking a fight?
It's very interesting. Gosh, I'm trying to remember how my relationships end, but I don't remember any of them ending in a fight.
Wow. Okay. I think all of mine have.
I don't
Every single one of mine has ended in a fight.
I don't think I've ever said "f you" to a lady that I was in a relationship with.
That would be rough if you say that. That would be a rough one because that's just mean. And is it even accurate? I mean, I
Have you
will
ever said
say
that to your partner? Have you ever said it?
definitely to my ex-husband. Definitely there was a lot of fuck yous to that one. Um, I'm struggling to think, so I'm gonna have to say
Okay,
that's
that's
really,
good. That's nice because
yeah.
I think that's really a deal breaker, not a deal breaker. It's like you're okay. You're burning where the bridges are burning right now.
Yeah. I mean,
A lot of "f you" talk.
yeah. Okay, so I want to ask you, remember I mentioned dial toning and it's similar to ghosting. Guess what dial toning is? You're gonna die when you hear this one.
Please, I'll not even guess.
Okay, so I'm going to read it. So I say it accurately. It says it's similar to ghosting. It's ignoring the person before the relationship begins. So you give your number, but you never reply. 35% of the people surveyed said that they've done this. They give the number and they never reply.
So you're at a bar, you meet a woman, she gives you the number, and it's not even a yes, not even hi.
Not even it. Not even yes. It's called dial toning.
Wow. You know what? That happens a lot on like Bumble and things like that.
But why give your number?
I don't know. I mean, I've
That
had conversations go two sentences and then it's over. It's like, really? That's all it's going to be? All
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I mentioned glamboozled earlier, and I feel like you kind of got that. Guess what glamboozled is?
right. She looks like a 10 in her Tinder profile because she's all glammed up.
I love your perspective on these things. Glamboozled actually is when you get all ready for a date and they cancel on you at the last minute. So you're primed and ready to go and they cancel at the last minute.
Wow.
Glamboozled, right?
Yes.
I love this dating stuff. Okay, what about eclipsing? If someone says in their dating life they've had eclipsing, do you know what that means?
A second person came into your life and took over the spot. You forgot all about that first one you were dating.
It's a good one. What it actually means is that when you start dating someone, you adopt all of their hobbies into interest.
Oh,
So you're eclipsing. So you take on all of theirs and
I,
you
I get
right?
that. I get that. I get that definition. I don't know that eclipsing is this right word. Wouldn't
Well, I didn't do
shadowing or cloning be more accurate?
well, excuse me, sir. I didn't
No,
make up your term. Eclipsing. Have you had that happen though, Tom?
no.
Okay. The only thing that I've really had, and I think we've talked about this, is I've had a couple of more than a couple of the guys say they love my job, whatever. And then after we start dating, they ask me how they can
Oh,
get into it too. They want to be on TV too.
yeah.
And that just every single time feels bad, you know?
I tell you the one thing. I wonder if there's a term for this that I've kind of discovered.
Yeah.
So you're going out with a person and you like them, you know, enough to go. Let's go out 4 or 5 times, but they've
Okay.
got a bad habit or two, or they've got a personality trait that you don't like, and then you find yourself talking yourself out of not liking that particular trait.
Oh.
Like,
Oh, I
you
see
know,
what you're
and so now when it happens, rather than not liking it and saying and blowing up the relationship because of that particular trait, you're becoming less sensitive to it. And you'd be like, well, I really didn't need that. I don't need those words of affirmation anyway. What's words of affirmation? That doesn't mean anything.
I'm gonna
You know,
call that red flags.
ooh.
Red flags. I've ignored a lot of red flags.
But I'm saying I think it's more than a red flag. It's like the
Okay.
person doesn't have like you've seen those love languages, right?
Yeah.
Right? What is it? 4 or 5 of them or whatever it is?
Yeah, it's words of affirmation, gifts, acts of service, touching, and spending time.
So let's say one of those words, one of yours, like
Words of affirmation is mine.
words of affirmation. But what if your partner was giving you other things, but wasn't giving the affirmation? You might diminish that, saying, "Well, maybe that's not as important as I thought it was." Which,
It is important.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a tough one because I guess we do try to logic around things, right? When you're trying to work out a relationship. I think the love languages are actually just so fascinating because I didn't recognize until I read the book that I was loving people by my love language and not paying attention to what theirs was, which I've learned they
right.
work tremendously. What do you know what your love language is? Is it spending
Um,
time?
no, it'd be touch and affirmation. I'm
Okay.
not big on
Okay.
gifts. Whatever.
I know. I just don't. Isn't it fascinating? I don't care about gifts. I just
Yeah.
don't care about gift. It's nice, but it doesn't get to me,
I
right?
mean, time, of course. You don't want to be with somebody that doesn't want to be with you, but I mean, I can.
I don't need as much time,
Yeah.
honestly. Time is not that big of a deal to me if the time together is quality. I don't require being with someone all the time, and that
You
could
see
be a gap.
yourself living with somebody?
I used
Look
to.
at the look on your face. It's-
Uh,
that was the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Here comes that boulder.
you know what? I used to think it was very important to live with someone. Now I would be more open to living separately. Honestly, I would. I'm not saying I wouldn't live with somebody, but I'd be more open to living separately because I really have a high value on my alone time. High value.
Wow,
I
interesting.
know. I'm not saying it's good.
No,
I'm
I'm
not
not
saying
saying
it's
it's
good.
bad, but it's bad.
So yeah. So tell me your other topic. You had something else.
Since we're running out of time,
No.
I want to do one. This is a little controversial. So we got sex dream, test joke, validation, old movies.
Well, tomorrow's the election. Did you want it? No?
Let me do that one. I
Okay.
want to run this idea by you. All right.
Okay.
So I hate being political. It sounds judgy. And it's funny because I want to know what makes somebody tick that likes a
Yes.
particular person the same way. Am I being manipulated to like this other person in some other fashion? You don't know. You don't
No, no.
know. But it is what it is. All right.
Yes.
So I have always been mystified by how attractive women are attracted to Trump. I'm like, he's clearly a bully and a misogynist on,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and I don't understand why I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's like, do you want your daughter to date something like that? Would you like your son to be like that? No, no. Would you want your dad to be like that? I don't
No.
think so. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm saying the entire key to his personality, to the cult, is Melania. The key is because when you see a, a guy and a woman and you go, that doesn't make any sense. He's
Right.
very plain and very, old and balding and fat, but
Yes.
he's got a hot girlfriend. She validates him. She validates him to other hot women. So let's call her a 10. I don't think she's a 10, but let's call her a 10, right?
Okay. Okay.
So any woman that is less than a 10 might think that oh my gosh, here's a 10 loving on Trump. I'm an 8, I'm a 9. I'm not as hot as Melania. Then Melania is validating Trump for me. If Melania thinks he's okay and she's hotter than me, then I think he's okay. It's a weird effed up mind thing, but and even for men, my God, if Trump can get a woman like that, he's my man. So, but here's the thing now, before you say anything,
I haven't. You notice I'm not.
I
I haven't.
know, but here's the other part of the puzzle.
Yes.
Imagine him, Trump, with a woman that physically looks like Barbara Bush.
Okay.
Now, Barbara Bush is an amazing person. I love her. She was great,
Yeah.
compassionate, smart, everything. But let's just take her look, her age appropriate look, and make her a partner for Trump.
Yes.
Do you think he'd get the same heat with hot women and men with that type of partner? I think Melania is the key to his whole thing.
Okay.
I rest my case.
Case rested. Here's my response. My personal response is the woman that I've seen interviewed on television that confessed to being attracted to Trump, in my view, when I've seen those confessions, it appears to be mental illness. And as far as Melania goes, we all know she's with him for his money. If he had no money, she wouldn't be with him. So I think people that can see clearly don't think it elevates him. They're very aware. Melania is known to have a lover. Everybody knows that he has porn stars he has to pay. So far, everybody he's had sex with, he's had to pay. So as a woman's perspective,
I'm not saying every woman thinks this way. I'm saying
no. I was watching videos last night, the parody that the Daily Show does, where they go into the Trump, rallies, and they start asking them questions like, "Can you tell us, would you want your dad to be like Trump? Would you want your daughter to date?" They ask direct questions, and it's funny to watch because it's sad because it's messed up. And the women that were saying, "I find him attractive. He's charismatic. I want him to be my president," also say things like only men should be president. So it's a very narrow margin of thinking that he's charismatic. And again, I'm gonna connect it with mental illness. Women that like to be with men that control them, that they find attractive, are having some issues that they're working on and they're struggling with. And clearly I'm not a Trump fan, but the whole Melania thing, anybody that knows anything about anything knows they're not sleeping together anymore. There's no sex going on anymore. I mean, it was already documented when he actually won the presidency. She redid the prenup. She redid everything and said, "I'm not moving to DC until you fix this." So I hear what you're saying. I think people that are looking at everything on a superficial level, yeah, they're going to look at Melania and go, "Well, if he can get Melania, then there's something attractive about this man."
She validates him.
Yes, she really does. Cash, money, also property, wealth.
I'm not saying it's an honest and true validation.
Yeah.
It's a crooked validation, but I'm saying imagine him with Barbara Bush. Does he get the same type of heat?
I would respect him more if he had it.
Of course, you and I would.
Yeah, no, it's a very interesting dichotomy because what we're seeing and what the truth is are two very different things. And it's kind of like the thing we talk about social media, like you show your best self, right? You're showing everybody like, "Oh, this is my life," when really that's not the case. And the case with Donald Trump and with women.
Is that even your monkey?
This is Miles. He traveled with me with work. Yeah,
You just try to put him up there to get social media, and you pretend you own Miles.
You know what? I love this fucking monkey. He traveled with me for 5 years on every airplane, every hotel. I lost him a couple of times. A ransom note was given when I lost him in Dallas, Texas. The people at the Airbnb sent me a ransom note and said they'd give him back. He has been with me probably longer than any of my dating relationships.
Your longest love relationship was with a sock monkey.
Was with the monkey. So yeah, it's going to be interesting when you and I talk on Wednesday because it will be the day after the popularity contest for the two old guys to see what happens.
Which 75-year-old guy do we want running the place? Isn't that delightful? I still got a chance.
You can definitely run for president next time. It's an open market.
Years to go.
It's an open market for white guys. So I do think what you said is very valid, though, Tom. I think people aren't really even digging in that deep because they look at it from a distance and go, "Yeah, she adds value to this guy. I get it."
What about one of your terms, and we'll end the show?
Okay. There's so many interesting ones.
I mean, we'll have a great show next Wednesday because we're going to talk about anything but politics.
Okay. Do you know what cosplaying? What's cosplaying?
Cosplay is when one of you or both dress up as a cartoon type anime character, hopefully a rabbit or someone with a sword.
I love that. I am into costumes
for
and stuff.
Schoolgirl myself.
You like the schoolgirl?
And secretary looking for a raise.
I definitely have a nurse outfit and a cheerleader outfit. I think those Those are very popular, right? I do like role playing, but cosplay is spelled Cause, cosplaying. And what it is, this is so good, Tom. Tell me if this happened. It's when you're in a casual relationship, then it fizzles out, right? But then that other person comes back and they keep asking for favors like, hey, my band's playing tonight. You want to come and watch? Or, I bet you've had that where you've casually dated someone and then they show up and they want you to support.
Of course. It's funny. The
Yes.
first time I met that woman, we went out a couple of times. There wasn't a lot of chemistry, but she invited me to like an event.
Okay.
Okay. Like, oh, well, maybe we can reheat the souffle and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I get there only to realize that it's some sort of quasi fundraiser
Yeah.
for blah, 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 $25 a head. And it's loaded with single men that she's met over the years. I was like, oh,
Not cool.
I'm just on the Rolodex. Check.
That's not cool. Did you stay or did you leave?
I'm always, let's look at this as an opportunity. So,
Look at you. You are a saint, Tom Wise. You are a saint. Well, I do want to promote Friday. I'm very excited for our guest on Friday.
Yes.
We're having Amy Vanderoff on our show on Friday.
Are the Vanderoffs the New York Vanderoffs or the Boston
Well,
Vanderoffs?
It's the Connecticut Vanderoff.
Connecticut, pardon me.
And she was the host of the show in WFAA Dallas for 10 years.
Wow.
She's fantastic. So very excited to get her on the show and talk about all kinds of scintillating topics.
Uh-huh. Are you working on a list of topics?
Oh yeah. I told her, I said, buckle in, sister. We're doing this.
All right. Well, I encourage everyone to vote. I'll be posting this tonight, so they'll have it.
Yes.
And I voted already. Have you?
No, I'm voting tomorrow. Our early voting here in New York, there were 5-hour waits. And in my neighborhood, it's a smaller area, safer during COVID for me to go in and vote.
Can you vote now, today?
Today, there is no voting in New York. They did all the early voting. So tomorrow will be my day. It's just down the road, very close. I feel safer.
Yeah,
I didn't feel safer.
9 hours later.
I know. Well, from what I know, here's the thing, Tom. I requested an absentee ballot, as they have let people in New York do, and because of what's happening in New York, all the absentee ballots have disappeared. So I did not receive my absentee ballot, and so the only way for me to vote now is to go in person.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's just one of the things. My friend in the city, she had an absentee ballot, but guess what? They took her mailbox away. The mailbox that has been outside her apartment for 40 years. Taken away.
Yeah, we got to slim down the whole thing, trim it down.
Yeah, so I think between now and Wednesday, a lot of things will have happened, and it's going to be a very interesting show for us.
Very good. And on that note, I will end the recording. I thank you for watching. My name's Tom Wise.
I'm Melinda McKinsey.
And you've been unpacking some shit, and that's another one in the can. See you on Wednesday, God willing, and the creek doesn't rise.